Sealy. I am the Managing Director for the New Zealand Comedy Trust. Yeah, Art Venture was fantastic in the confidence behind the idea. It was sort of an idea that I thought was good and I thought had merit, but it was really great to be in an environment where your ideas were really fully supported, and it meant that it was time away from the office that I could really focus on the project. And actually, so I loved the weekends. Art Venture weekends were amazing because you'd go, and then from sort of 10 o'clock on Sunday morning through till 10 o'clock on Saturday morning through till 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, that would be time that you would devote to you and your project, which is really very special and rare within a busy industry. I was running a pool hall, because that's what all respectable young women do, and it closed, and I started working bar at the Classic and immediately fell in love with comedy. I think it was around 19. Yeah, and so worked at the Classic for a couple of years. Heard a huge amount of stories from all the international comedians about Edinburgh, so I thought, that's what I'll do. I'll go over to Edinburgh, just the biggest arts market in the world, and fell in love all over again. The Creative Comedy Initiative, which is the project that I took into Art Venture. It's continued 4 years later to provide a legacy within the comedy community. This year we've funded 2 works, Chris Parker and Rose Matafeo, who have presented two shows that they wouldn't have been able to make without the support from the Trust and through the Creative Comedy Initiative, which is brilliant because I wouldn't have been able to create the Creative Comedy Initiative program without the help of Art Venture way back in 2010. The New Zealand Comedy Trust, the major focus that the Trust does is present the annual New Zealand International Comedy Festival in April-May each year. Aside from that, a big focus of the Trust is development. So we run a suite of development initiatives. We have a youth access strategy which incorporates Stand Up for Kids, 5 PM project and Class Comedians, which is our in-schools program for comedy. We run development opportunities, both professional and creative performers. We have the Creative Comedy Initiative, the Billy T Awards, Comedy Lab, and professional workshops with performers. And then we also run audience development programs. This year the last 2 years we've run a program with New Zealand Sign Language Week, providing sign interpreters at a number of shows, festival shows. We also have a show called Le Comique, which is an alternative comedy showcase. One of the biggest changes within the comedy industry that I've sort of seen over the last 10 years is it's now viable for comedians to make a living in New Zealand as a comedian. There isn't the same need to go overseas to develop their craft. They can develop their craft in New Zealand and make a living as a performer within Auckland, which is something that I don't think has been it really feels like it's a current situation, and it has shown the development, I guess, over the last 10 years of Auckland's creative ecology.